Hello and welcome back to the Passport to Crime podcast. I'm Oakley, your host, and this is part 3 of our 4-part investigation into one of the most iconic and heartbreaking stories of the 20th century. This is Behind the Tiara: Scandal, Silence and Survival, part 3. Before we begin, as always, a quick disclaimer. This podcast discusses themes of media exploitation, surveillance and institutional retaliation. Listener discretion is strongly advised. All quotes and accounts are sourced from verified public record, interviews, and published biographies. With that being said, let's begin. So, in the final years of her life, Diana was no longer tethered to the palace. Her divorce from Prince Charles was finalised in August 1996. She lost the title, Her Royal Highness, but gained something far more powerful: freedom. And with that freedom came a louder voice, a bolder presence, and a deeper sense of purpose. She was no longer just a royal figure. She was a global humanitarian. Diana began to travel extensively, aligning herself with causes that challenged governments, corporations, and global indifference. She walked through active minefields in Angola. She visited orphanages in Brazil, AIDS wards in London, and refugee camps in Pakistan. She held hands with the sick and the dying, the forgotten, and she did it without gloves, without protocol, and without permission. Her work with the Halo Trust in Angola was particularly radical. She wore body armour and a visor, stepping into a live minefield to draw attention to the human cost of war. Her presence helped catalyse the Ottawa Mine Ban Treaty, signed just months after her death. Diana didn't just raise awareness, she moved policy. But her activism came at a cost. Powerful interests were watching. Arms manufacturers, political leaders, and even members of the royal establishment viewed her as a destabilising force. She was warned, quietly, to stay out of politics, but Diana didn't see her work as political. She saw it as human. In private, Diana was still navigating the world of shadows. Her relationship with a heart surgeon, Hasnat Khan, had ended. She was now seen publicly with Dodi Fayed, son of a billionaire Mohammed Al Fayed. Their romance was tabloid gold, but behind the headlines was a woman craving normalcy, safety, and of course love. The press, however, had other plans. Diana was followed relentlessly, paparazzi chasing her through London, Paris, and the Mediterranean. Photographers hid in bushes, rented helicopters, and bribed hotel staff. Her every move was documented, sold, and dissected. She was the most photographed woman in the world, and still to this day, the most hunted. In one chilling account, photographers followed Diana through red lights, down the wrong side of traffic islands and into private residences. They scaled fences. They lied to security guards. They dove across car bonnets with cameras in hand, and they got the shot. Diana driving into Kensington Palace with a married millionaire. It was a tabloid gold, but it was also a warning. Privacy was no longer possible. Diana knew she was being watched. She told friends she feared her phone was tapped. She suspected her car was being tampered with. She constantly made jokes about checking underneath her vehicle for bombs. But the humour masked a deeper truth. She did feel unsafe, and she had a reason to. In the summer of 1997, Diana and Dodi travelled through France, Italy, and the Mediterranean. Their movements were tracked. Their hotel bookings leaked. Their yacht locations published. Diana was photographed in a swimsuit, lounging on deck, unaware that the image would be splashed across the front pages within hours. On August 30th, Diana and Dodi dined at the Ritz Hotel in Paris. They left late that night, attempting to evade the paparazzi. Their driver, Henry Poole, was reportedly intoxicated. The car sped through the Ponte d'Alma tunnel. It never emerged. The crash killed Diana, Dodi, and Henry Poole. The only survivor was bodyguard Trevor Rees-Jones. The world woke to the news on August 31st, 1997. The People's Princess was gone. The backlash was immediate. The press hung its head in shame. The paparazzi were vilified. The monarchy was criticised for its silence, and the public mourned with a grief that felt personal, visceral, and global. At her funeral, Diana's brother, Charles Spencer, delivered a blistering eulogy. He called her the most hunted person of the modern age. He pledged to protect her sons from the same fate, and he made it clear Diana's death was not just an accident, it was the result of relentless pursuit. In the years that followed, investigations were launched. Operation Paget examined conspiracy theories, surveillance claims, and the role of the paparazzi. The verdict? Unlawful killing due to gross negligence. But for many, the truth felt more complex. Diana had been silenced, not by a single act, but by a system that refused to let her live freely. Her legacy, however, endures. Her humanitarian work continues through her sons. Her voice echoes in campaigns against landmines, AIDS, stigma, and mental health, and her story remains a cautionary tale about power, privacy, and the cost of compassion. In this episode, we've explored Diana's final years, the freedom she claimed, the causes she championed, and the forces that closed in. We've heard how surveillance, media obsession, and institutional retaliation converged in a single devastating moment. In part 4, we examine the aftermath, the investigations, the conspiracy theories, and the question that still lingers. Was Diana's death preventable? Until then, stay curious, stay critical, and remember, behind every crown, there's a story waiting to be told. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our Instagram at the Passport to Crime Podcast. Thanks for joining us. See you in part 4.